to students. If the number of students is odd, the ID of the last student is not swapped. Return the result table ordered by ID in ascending order. Okay. If the number of, so here is like we have one table, that is student table. So what we have to do is we are swapping the seat ID. Okay, so seat table. Hmm. Uh, the two, like abort Doris, one, yeah, one after the another. So we are swapping this one, like Doris with a bot, and this one with here Emerson Green here. uh, I haven't like write a query for this. Looks to me like swapping two numbers. The the coding question. I know how to write it in SQL. Hmm. Hmm. Okay. 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 Um. So mhm. Like here you didn't need to worry about the like primary key or any key. Like here is only one ID. We only have one table, so we have ID, which is like yeah. Mm-hmm. Yes. So we need to think like uh, like in a programming way, like when, like how we are applying logic, like think it as swapping two numbers first. Okay. And when you wrote the logic, okay, how to swap two numbers, then convert it into SQL query. And because see, so we can do like one thing here, because uh, we need to see this ID, and this ID should be unique to every student. Yeah, so ID is unique. So when we are uh, swapping the seat, so as you can see here, like one is here only, but Doris, it's on the other hand. Mm. uh, yes, the ID, if the number of the students is odd, the ID of the last student is not swapped. Yeah. Yeah, so it's so they said like last one is not swapped. Yeah, because it's odd. Return the result table order by ID in ascending order. So like when we are swapping these two IDs, like these two students, so still we need to maintain the ID in the same order. Ascending means small to big, like we are going towards the high. I know it is confusing sometimes. Yeah, ascending descending, like we think is a it's a very simple thing, but in terms of table it's yeah, I know. So so ascending means the order should be like 1 to 5. Okay, so uh, right. Yeah, we need to use some condition. So like what I am doing, like you need a logic here to swap the IDs, but what we understand from this, uh, like if we uh, decoding this statement step by step, like first we need to select uh, from the, like we need to select something from this seed table. Okay, so select from seat. Okay, so order it should be like order by ID. Okay, so now the thing is we need to write the logic here, how we are swapping the keys. So have you like did some questions like this? Do you know any syntax or anything? Okay. Okay. So like what we can do is, because this is a ascending order. Yeah. Okay. So when we are at 1 means it's a odd number. Okay. So we are moving it to the next one, means we are doing plus 1, and this is the odd one. Okay. So we are making it 1. You understand, like if we if the uh, abort, so it's a, yeah, no, so abort, because abort has two IDs, so we are adding plus 1 to this one ID. uh, Not else. It's a school. Oh, they are else. Mm, else ID, and then and as ID and student. So basically we have a syntax error. So when manual records my information, when ID else, okay, then okay, so then they said two, so we need to do then ID plus 1 or okay, it goes here and here -1. So ID, so when ID is 1, okay, 1 remainder 2, it's it's 1, okay. So ID plus 2, so it will 2, and when this is 2, so 2 remainder 1, it is gonna, okay, let's see what it gives. Okay, it did something, but we will see. Okay, so uh, so our first condition, it make this first ID as 2. Okay, so this is, yeah, so that is mm, correct okay, not correct, it just update the IDs, like add the IDs, but it didn't swap the students. ID, oh okay, this is not mm, no, like where we, when we are selecting something, so here we are applying the logic, we are just swapping the numbers, so where condition is not needed. Okay, so now the thing is, like it also adding to the last one, like like we need only till this one, but yeah, uh id equals to 4. No, no, because they give just one example, but when we are submitting, so they are uh, like any use case, so our code should be generic. Hmm. Yeah, so what we are trying to do is uh, we are trying to make this first one as 2, and this one as 1, the 2 as 1, so when as, so 1 remainder 2 is 1, okay, so id plus 1. Okay, so when we are dividing it with 2. So 2, 2 remainder 2 is then id minus 1, so 2 becomes 1. Yeah, so when these both are not the cases, then just return the id. Hmm. It it just a syntax, because at the end we need id and student. Yeah, so this case is ending here. So when the case when so everything, this is just like a syntax structure, and this we have applied the logic, and as id student we are selecting from seat order by id. Hmm. Yes, yes, right. So basically this is like, if we uh, neglect this logic, so basically we are selecting id and student from seat order by id, because we need id in a ascending order. So by default it is in ascending order, but if we want it in a descending, so we can do this. Yeah, so it will uh, no, no, the syntax error, the descending, I'm not sure where it should put, but like this is the case. Okay. Mm. Okay, so we have to see the last one. James. Uh, so basically, if we see the question, so they said if the student's ID is odd, the ID of the last student not swapped. Uh, okay, so because there are 5 students, so this is odd. So that means like always they it is odd. So for our odd, so this is for the odd one, 2. Okay, so that the remainder is 1, because anything we are dividing by 1, so it's like the odd one, so the remainder is always 1. Like for example, you are dividing 5 by 2, so the remainder is 1. You dividing 3 by 2, the remainder is 1. Yeah, so then the remainder, so this is for our even number and this is for our odd number. So here yes, so here we need to put something. Okay, like either uh, select this id, or either give us just to return the id, not make it 6, like here it is doing id plus 1. Okay, okay, so if so we are running this program, so 1 divided by 2, okay, so 3 divided by 1, so the id and this id, we need to see. Mm, yeah, so that change would be here. Here. Yeah. Uh, okay, okay, I got it. See, like our last ID is 5. Yeah, yeah, it's odd, so we know it. Something we need to add here. Okay, and the next thing is, because it's 5. Okay, but this is making it 6. Yeah. Okay, so we need to check here. Like here, we need to add one more condition, and okay, and if the ID should be less than the maximum ID. Okay, select. Okay, the max ID. You remember the max keyword. Okay, so max ID we need to select from the table seat receipt. Okay, you got it done. Yeah. uh, yeah, so so here we have added this, and so it so basically, uh, how we solve this problem is, like we are breaking down like every point they said, like swapping the id seat id. Okay, two consecutive, we know, and this information is uh, it's like a really, we need to understand to make these kind of logics. Like what they asked, like they asked if the number of student is odd. So if, like they already mentioned, we need to check for um odd odd and even thing. Hmm. Hmm. Yeah, and before the logic, if we understand the problem statement. Yeah, yeah, so we need to, yeah, yeah. So like from the problem statement, like half of our logic they have explained here in the problem itself. Like they said if the number is odd, so this will be only a case for when the numbers are odd. So we got to know like we need to add a condition to find a even and odd. So how we are finding the even? If the remainder equals to 1, so that means that value is odd, and if the remainder is 0, that means that value is even. Yeah, so when the value is odd, like 1 or 3 or 5, so we need to do plus 1 because we are swapping the IDs. And when the ID is even, so we are like going backward, like we are making 2 to 1 and 4 to 3, so we are doing -1. Okay, and then else, because this is the default case, like when we are writing programs, so we always uh, having a default case. If something doesn't come into these conditions, so it will come here. But in our case we didn't have such scenario, it just have even and odd values, not point values. Okay, and then the condition ends. And why we added this condition? To avoid the +1 for the last ID. So it will only add +1 if the ID is less than the max ID. Yeah, so the maximum ID here is 5. Max ID is 5, then ID plus 1. So it will only do this thing, it will only go to this condition if, yeah, like hmm, yeah, if we don't write that one, then we got 6. Okay, so like it will come with the practice and how much your time spending to read the statement. Mm-hmm. Okay, yeah, I think